up, people? How are you doing? I'm having a damn good day. Welcome back to the channel, and today we'll be discussing, describing and breaking down Diego Simeone's 4-4-2 formation at Atletico Madrid. So stay tuned for that. Firstly, hit the like button, please. That'd be great. Subscribe if you are new. As you can see right here, we've got Memphis Depay, we've got Griezmann, we've got Koke on the left-hand side, we've got Carrasco, we've got De Paul, we've got Llorente, Molina, Jimenez, Hermoso, Galan, and then of course we've got Oblak, if it lets me get there, there we go. And then on the bench we've got Correa, Lamar, Saul, Witsel, Gribic, Aspilicueta, new signing of course, Savage, and then in the reserves we've got Morata, Suyonshu, João Felix, who might be leaving and potentially going to Barcelona. Let me know if you are a Barcelona fan. Would you take him at Barca and why? And if you're an Atletico Madrid fan, how do you feel about this man staying at your club, considering he said so many times he doesn't want to be there? And then, of course, you've got Ronaldo, and then a few other players that I could not care to mention. So yes, we are going to be discussing this formation and the tactics and the good qualities and the bad qualities of it as well. So just having a look at the formation, of course, it is a 4-4-2 formation. I've gone with a 4-4-2 flat, but what I've done is I've dropped the two central midfielders. I've dropped them slightly deeper, so it still maintains that nice 4-4-2 flat shape at times, but more times than not, you do want those central midfielders to have a bit more of a defensive job, which is why I have gone ahead and dropped them lower. Atletico Madrid, under the tactical guidance of Diego Simeone in the 4-4-2 formation, demonstrates a distinctive approach that balances the defensive solidity with opportunistic attacking strategies. The defense. Simeone's Atletico Madrid adopts the defensive style known as pressure on heavy touch, where the team looks to apply immediate pressure when the opponent loses possession. While prioritizing getting all players behind the ball, calculated risks are taken. This is to try and exploit the opposition's mistakes and try and launch quick, fast-paced counterattacks. This approach aims to disrupt the opponent's rhythm and capitalize on turnovers. The narrow width setting of 25 emphasizes the compactness, forcing the opposition to struggle through the central areas of the pitch. By crowding the midfield, Atletico aims to try and stifle the opposition's playmaking and reduce their options. The defensive depth is set to 40, creating a low to mid block that maintains defensive solidity while remaining compact. This ensures there's a limited space between the lines for opponents to try and exploit, making it difficult for them to try and penetrate and break down Atletico's defensive structure. The offense. In terms of build-up play, the balanced setting adds versatility to Atletico's attacking approach. This allows them to adapt to their tactics based on the situation and exploit any weaknesses in the opposition's defensive setup. With the width setting of 60, Atletico look to try and create space using the fullbacks and the wingers. Of course, this is dependent on who your wingers are. The width not only stretches the opponent's defensive shape, but also provides options for crossing and exploiting the flanks effectively. Setting players in the box to 6 strikes a balance between providing attacking options in the box and not overcommitting too many players forward. This enables Atletico to have a presence in the penalty area without leaving themselves vulnerable to the counter-attack. For set pieces, both corners and free kicks are set to 4. This helps them maintain a well-structured defensive shape while posing a threat from dead ball situations. In summary, Atletico Madrid's 4-4-2 tactics under Simeone are characterized by a compact and resolute defensive structure, complemented by calculated risks to capitalize on turnovers. In attack, they emphasize versatility, width, and maintaining a balanced presence in the box, while maintaining a disciplined defensive shape during set-piece situations. So as for Jan Oblak, he's a very good goalkeeper at just doing the basics correctly, so I've set him to come for crosses, and of course, because you are playing a somewhat mid to low block, he won't need to be a sweeper keeper at all. That's why you have your solid back 4 in front of him, and he will not need to do much sweeping up or anything of the sort. As for your 2 centre-backs slightly ahead of him, they are set to their base set of instructions, and then as for your full-backs, they are set to the same set of instructions. During the attack and overlap, they will be providing the width down that left or that right-hand flank, firing crosses into the box, and both of these guys, Galan as well as Molina, they have got very good crossing attributes to go along with it. Moving on into the midfield, we've got Rodrigo De Paul, and then we've got Llorente. Now, put Llorente on the right-hand side. You can alternate between the two. Maybe you could switch in and out between Saul and so on. But I've gone with Llorente on the right-hand side, mainly because he does play more or less on that right-hand side, either as a right back or a right winger or even a right midfielder at certain times. So starting off with Rodrigo De Paul, he's set to cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking, normal interceptions, stick to position, of course, and then, of course, cover the center. So both Llorente and De Paul, they will have the cover the center. You don't want them slotting into the left or the right back roles. You want them to maintain a nice firm platform, a nice firm shield in front of that back four, protecting them, as well as trying to, overload the midfield or the opposition's midfield in certain moments. Like I say, creating a nice shield. And then more or less cut passing lanes and stay back while attacking. He is going to be the out-and-out defensive midfielder, whilst the likes of Llorente will look to get forward on certain occasions. So he is set to cut passing lanes, of course. Have a bit of a balanced attack, so he won't look to stay back. He will look to sometimes get forward and support the offensive outlets. But more importantly, he will have an aggressive interception set on, so he will look to try and get forward when you are looking to press that back line or put pressure on heavy touches and so on. He will be that adding factor into that. And then, of course, cover the center. Like I said, you want them to try and create that nice shield in front of the back line to protect them, of course. With this Simeone system, it's all about defensive presence. It's all about keeping things nice, tight, and compact. As I have mentioned in the past with talking about the tactics and everything, you're wanting to more or less look to implement that with the instructions as well. And then starting off on the right-hand side with Koke, he's got a very different outlook in terms of the wing play versus Carrasco or Thomas Lemar, or if you put Angel Correa as a right winger, they will have different instructions compared to Koke. Or potentially Llorente, if you can slot Llorente in here. But basically, I've gone with this set of instructions for Koke because he does look to more or less drift inside to that midfield, creating sometimes a midfield three, but also trying to give Griezmann as much space to operate in as possible. And we'll get to Griezmann soon enough, but in terms of Koke, he's set to come back on defense, cut inside, come short, like I say. He will look to drift inside to that midfield a bit more, adding another body in there as well. And also allowing for Molina or whoever you have as your right back to more or less overlap and bomb on forward, creating that width down that right-hand side. And of course, he is also set to get into the box for crosses. But now, as for Carrasco, and more or less all the wingers in the team, they'll have this set of instructions on. Come back on defense, balanced width, balanced supporting runs, and of course get into the box. So you do want them to sometimes, cut inside and maybe pop off a few shots, but you don't want them always in that midfield central area. You want them to more or less try and hug the touch lines, create more width for your midfield to function in going forward. But more times than not, you do want to have them on these set of instructions going forward. And like I say, it's for Thomas Lemar, it's for Carrasco, it could be for Correa. You could probably put it on Llorente, but I'd like to think that Llorente is more of a central midfielder. So if you are using Llorente as a winger, more or less try and go with the likes of Koke over the likes of a natural winger. So as for Antoine Griezmann, he's set to drift wide, play as a false nine, of course. Normal interceptions will be on, and of course come back on defense. So he will look to try and link the midfield to the attack, dropping deep, collecting the ball, and then driving on at the opposition. But more importantly, playing as a false nine, it does allow him to slightly drop off the back line in certain moments, linking up play, of course, but then drifting wide. Like I say, Koke is going to drift inside to the midfield, and it will open up a bit more space on that right-hand side, especially Griezmann's side, for him to drift into those wider areas and function with the ball in those slightly wider areas, and he does a very good job with it, might I say. And then finally, we've got Memphis Depay, who is said to have a balance with getting in behind, of course, trying to stretch that back line as much as possible, and then, of course, basic defensive support is said to be on. So he will look to sometimes drop a bit deeper. If you are under the caution, you are looking to defend a bit more, Depay will also look to come back a bit more and help the team going forwards and backwards, of course. So if you have the likes of Morata in here, he will be set to stay central, be a target man, of course, and then, of course, stay forward. So he will look to more or less be the focal point. He'll try and look to fire the balls into him with the likes of Griezmann, Carrasco, or any of your forwards, essentially. He'll look to back into the opponent, hold it off, and then potentially play a little around the corner pass, or he'll look to be a bit more physical and dominant in the box, going for headers, of course, and all that good stuff. But I've gone with the likes of Memphis Depay, a bit more versatile, and so on. So yes, people, that's the 4-4-2 formation under Atletico Madrid's Diego Simeone, his set of tactics, of course. If you have enjoyed this video, hit the like button, please. I will make the 3-5-2 formation that Atletico also play with. If we can hit 15 likes on the video, that would be absolutely fantastic, amazing, fabulous, absolutely fabulous. But you know what? Until then, hope you guys have a damn great day. I'm out. Enjoy your day.